Hi, everyone. Today is March the 4th. My name is Anne Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We have a few things happening, not very much. This 3-month bill auction is the one that people measure against the 10-year to see what's going on in terms of whether we have a recession or not. Who knows? Hard to tell. Not even something to worry about. It doesn't normally move the market, all right? But after today, we've got ourselves a wallop, okay? A very big week and a fair amount of earnings that we can still move the market with. Let's jump right into the charts. We're going to take a look at the cues here. Whoops, where is my data? Hang on. All right. We do have a breakaway in progress. We need to watch our 9:30 open, but we've not reached the highs of the pre-market just yet. This is a Fibonacci taking us up to 450. We should take a little breath, but you never know. Here's the thing. Compression here on the volatility bands for momentum space is trapped in the center, and this is matching the same thing. So I've got some really cool ideas about what we can do to generate alpha today. More on that on your individual platforms. And of course, you can see me every day on the Benzinga Pro platform and in the Place Your Grades Discord, as well as Topstep TV and the associated Discord there. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and move to the SPY. SPY is sitting in a space where we do normally see a little bit of bounce action, but notice how shallow this bounce was here off of this edge. So could we have ourselves a little breather during a no news space? Well, absolutely, right? And if these charts are in the midst of a breakout, then what we're going to see, of course, is if the chart wants to move smoothly, we're going to see a retest of prior supports, and that could be 1, the VWAP action into the end of the day, or 2, the actual breakout zones, which could be anywhere from 510 all the way down to 504 if the market starts to get a little wiggly. All right. So those are the things to watch. We have momentum drift, but it's got a tight band on it, and our bounces are shallow to sideways. Okay, so today is definitely a caution day. Let's take a look at, dang it, I hate having those things up. All right, let's take a look at the ES. All right, we have a breakaway in process. It came up over the 5100 area. This is a key zone. I think we've got 1, 2 VWAPs ending around the same place for a couple of days, so that number is a little important. That's 5092. Note the volatility band's expanding. We've got lower highs here. This is a pressure event that could say, hey, I'm going to give back some of this. Much of the day on Friday was an unwinding of shorts. So if we have an unwinding of shorts continuing, they're going to buy the dip. And so this area here is really just coming into support action. So I would still say, even though we're looking like this, unless you've got quick snap trades, dear heavens, quick snap trades, I do not want you to, let me turn this thing off. Yeah, I do not want you to just continually think, hey, I only have to buy the dip. You can sell the bounces into the space right here, but this motion could see a little bit of give back today. All right, let's go to the NQ. Same kind of breakaway in progress, right? We're sitting below the close of the prior day, but the momentum is fairly sideways. Notice it's caught right in the middle. If it's caught in the middle, we buy support, sell resistance, buy support, sell resistance. And this, again, could drift into the regions where the buyers are going to say, hey, you know what? I could potentially try myself along right there. So I'm going to clone this line and take it up here into this VWAP edge. All right. So That's rounded about what we are looking for today. Looks very sideways in terms of trading, but wait for the edge. Wait for the top of that edge. Click on this one more time so you can see that we're sitting in a rangy space until all the news of the week moves in one direction or another. Let's take a look at the RTY. Did the same thing here. These guys haven't had a dynamic breakaway, but they are doing relatively well in terms of price action. I would say the breakaway is actually off 2071, but they've got some resistance here at 2100. That is definitively my thought about what's going on there. I'm not looking for anything other than sideways motion in the RTY from a big picture perspective. All right, it should come down and test the breakaway line before moving forward. If you just stare this down, that is probably going to be something that doesn't make too much sense in the grand scheme of things, particularly since every time it gets up here, eventually it rotates over. Now notice, see how long it moved up here, gave us a dip, kept running. How do you know to stay in the trade? What's the slope of the VWAP? What's the slope of the trend? A lot of folks saying, wow, thank you so much for adding the YM. The YM is in a very interesting space. Let me make sure that this is here. It is fading a fair bit more than the rest of the market, and we can see that it's a little rangy. Okay, it came to the top, and now we've got volatility expansion, and this is sitting very low. So buyers are going to come in right around here. Third volatility band test, they're going to come in, but this bounce says that there is weakness sitting in this chart. Could you buy the dip? Absolutely. Rotationally, it's moving up. So this is a potential buy the dip, but momentum is saying it's going to have a few wiggles trying to get itself back up into the proper space. That's what happens when these things bottom here and have very negative readings. They will bounce into resistance and fade into support, and bounce into resistance and fade into support until there is proper momentum that is pushing it large. This should be a sell the bounce until it gets a little bit more traction off of the momentum bands. All right, oil. Oil, still bullish. This line has been sort of the death knell. OPEC news came out and said, hey, you know, we're going to keep all of this production down. U.S. shale is shooting the moon. Of course, these are different grades of fuel, so there's a lot of flexi bits going on in there. But notice the range expansion. This is a typical megaphone event, and so we just need to realize that we could get higher highs and lower lows in the current space, but the deep dips are still giving us buy zones. Boy, would I love to see a test of 78 come in and hold. That will be a great place to go long again up into 80. Right now, that looks pretty sideways with an expanding band. So I would say off the VWAP, you can run it up the flagpole, but into that second or third standard deviation band, you'll definitely want to take some gains, which also, you know, I think 80.21 is a pretty good resistance zone. All right, lastly, let's take a look at gold. Whoops, wrong. Okay, so gold is breaking out to the north. It's been following Bitcoin quite a bit, which I think is insane. But let's have a peek at this chart. Wow, I have no idea where I saved that. Maybe it's in one. Let's see. Yes. All right, let's copy this and move it over to the right one so that you can see what's going on. These guys still haven't rotated forward. Oops. All right, so why would I have a yellow line here as it comes into key resistance? Listen, it's breaking above it. The breakout area is right in this zone, so pullbacks are definitively buy zones here. This thing is in a breakaway formation, but it's also sitting at key resistance. Man, this annoys me to no end. Whatever. So my thought is, let's buy the dips. And once it gets into that resistance zone, you want to take some profit. Okay? Clear breakaway, right? But resistance is at this round 2100 number. Our Globex open was 2091, so wrong. Holy smokes. What is happening? Properties. All right, there we go. 2091. That's a 7 Embry. 2091. All right, and we end up getting ourselves up through this area. Could we be in another breakaway? Yes, but we're getting up very high, crossing into this area. Notice it's giving us breakaway. So we can take these rallies into the next space. But the moment we stop making new highs, the better bet is to go, you know what? I'm going to buy the dip. And right now, the dip looks maybe 2095. And I think that that's a really pretty place to say, hey, I think I'll have my floor there. But if you love gold, that's it. Holy smokes, spent 13 and a half minutes. Way too long. I'll see you guys on the other side. Take care.